Hello everybody, I'm back here again for a vlog a day. Today is Tuesday the 17th and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got up this morning fairly early-ish. Dog got me up middle of the night, got him outside like 3 a.m. I don't know what's up at 3 a.m. but it seems to be his new number. So got him out 3 a.m., got him back in, got him settled back down. So I thought, okay, missed a thing. And then when I actually got up to start about the day, he'd pooped on the floor in the living room. Like, what the fuck, dude, I had you out. Like, it doesn't make sense. So, no idea what's up with that shit. But it is what it is. So, did get up though, got the dogs outside. The wife was basically in bed still, trying to keep herself, trying to keep things quiet so she can rest as long as she could. Went from there. She got up and got around and got the dogs all fed. The Rottweiler is still just licking and stuff and driving me crazy. But I feel bad for her because I guess the Rottweiler is going to be going to another, foster home with the hope of turning into a permanent care, most likely. Sounds like the owner will not be getting back out of the hospital, unfortunately. So I feel bad for her. I'm hoping that she can figure out what's going on. I learned there's something with the allergies going on. What? Because she's got like a runny nose and everything. Like it's getting kind of bad, but she's just constantly licking. It's just driving me crazy. Bitter apple spray doesn't seem to work. Tried a couple of things and she'll lick herself to where she literally makes like a puddle on the floor. It's just gross. And then her neck is still gross still too. So but I've been keeping it washed out as best I can, keeping it clean, and then has that weird thing. I'm like, am I doing worse by not letting it just like harden up and scab? But like, would that be better for it? I don't know. So kind of is what it is. So got there, wife got ready, headed off to work, drove her in, got her dropped off, got everything all settled up there, and then got back home, hung out with the dogs for a while. Had a couple of things, had somebody reach out, want me to watch a dog that runs over into my cruise date. And I reached out and said, I can't. It runs over into the cruise date. And she's like, oh, when are your cruise date? And I'm like, it doesn't matter if your trip is this. Turns out, I guess, she's going out of town, the husband's not. But she just wants somebody to watch the dog for part of the stay because the husband doesn't want to be tied down, having to take care of the dog the whole time when she's gone. He wants to be able to come and go as he wants. And it was one of those weird situations. I'm like, okay. So we can do a meet and greet tomorrow. We'll get that scheduled out. So got that set up and then just changed the date. Because I told her, I said, I want our cruise is until like the, 28th, I think, or some crap, 27th. I don't know what it is. But I gave myself an extra day early for pickup on the dog. That way, just kind of, I don't know, it is what it is. So I don't want to risk the chance. Definitely never picking up morning of my cruise because especially going to Miami, can't risk you being late getting here and me being late driving away to Miami. And two, even the single day before kind of annoys me because it's that whole concept of like, every year I try and convince every cruise, I guess we cruise multiple times a year, but every cruise I try and convince my wife, let's go down a day early, grab a hotel room close to the port, and even semi-close to port, like an hour out. That way we have like an hour drive instead of 4+ hours drive down to Miami. That will take a lot of stress off morning of the cruise and go from there. But plus we hit like Haulover Beach, which is a pretty famous nude beach right down in Miami, but kind of is what it is. Hasn't happened yet. So yep, I'm hoping that. So I got the dog scheduled out, so it'll be on the 26th pickup. So it'll give me extra time to not to mess with it. So, and it kind of is what it is there. So I think our cruise is the 26th. I don't know what the hell our cruise is. It doesn't matter. But I set it up with the dogs. I picked up in the morning on the 26th. So we'll see how it goes down. But yeah, from there, hung around the house. Got a few things done here and there. Nothing too major. Just chilling out with the dog, having a good time. It's a little chilly. I put like pants on and shit, which is ridiculous. Shouldn't have to wear pants this time of year in Florida. It's crazy. But yeah, everything was all good. Wife still wasn't feeling great. She's kind of feeling off, so I didn't feel comfortable going anywhere and getting any distance away from the house kind of thing, away from her work. I had to go pick her up. So kind of dealing with that, which is always kind of sucks. But went ahead and even waited to run because I don't know, I just felt like she was going to call me times she needs to go to the hospital because she's been feeling like crap so bad that I didn't want to be out on a run, be like, oh, I'll be back home in half an hour and be picking you up in 20 minutes after that. So I didn't want to have that situation happen. So finally came time for her to get picked up. Went and grabbed her at work and brought her home. And basically once I got her placed in the house, I went ahead and went for my run. Oh, early in the day, I went over, after I got back, I forgot, I went over to my father-in-law's house across the street and helped him work on some shelving, cut out some baseboard and stuff. He'd measured the shelves and said that the one shelf would fit there by the closet door, and then got it put there. And it doesn't fit by the closet door because the closet door won't open. So I was like, gotta be kidding me. I'm like, well, maybe if I cut the baseboard out, I can push it far against their wall. And then he's like, yeah, I measured it. It'll definitely fit. That'll be no problem. If you cut that baseboard out, that'll definitely fit. I measured it. And I'm like, okay. He's a competent human being. It should not be a big deal. Although he'd measured it once and didn't fucking fit, which might be no big deal. I went ahead and cut the baseboard out, pushed up there. Guess what? Still doesn't fit. So I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. So I took the trim off the door and everything so I get up against the wall and make it tight. We're all good there. But the door, in order to get the door to open without smashing into the record shelf, it will technically open, but it's against the wall as tight as it can be. But you have to like pull the door away from it. Like you have to like keep the doorknob turned and pull the door towards the hinge side so it pivots a little tiny bit, then just scratches a little bit. So it's gonna eventually wear the shelf all the shit. Who cares? Not my shelf. Don't care, but it works. And worst case scenario, I can pop the door off the hinges, which might be what I do. In theory, if I was really cared about this and was gonna be long term, I just remount the hinges, the door open the opposite direction, which would be fine. Except that's not worth it because he doesn't use that closet that much anyway. So it's got some guitars and stuff in it, some musical instrument shit that he'll probably never look at it again as long as he's alive. So basically it becomes a locked closet that never gets used. So did all that fun stuff. That was joyous fun, and trying to work around that stuff was crazy. Had to cut baseboard off 2 walls, door trim off one of the doors and stuff and whatnot, and got the shelves all up. He's got to finish screwing the brackets on it for the support. And then basically from there, I got to mount tight, I guess, anchored into studs in the wall. So the shelves can't pivot and can't fall. So yeah, I got to do that. But other than that, pretty good set up in the long run. It's all going well. And then I got back to the house and I was just exhausted today. I was tired. I just had no energy, nothing. I was lethargic. Ended up actually grabbing myself a little bit of food, which I rarely ever eat food in the daytime. I only eat in the evenings. So I ate myself a little something, even laid down, tried to take a nap. And I know I dozed off at least at one point. I was watching a movie and there was probably a 35, maybe 40-minute chunk where I didn't know where the hell I was at. I was like, oh, this don't make any sense. And I didn't go back and look. I didn't care. And then so I got at least a little bit of a nap out of the deal. But other than that, nothing big. Got back, picked my wife up, and then went and got my run in. Got on a run, grabbed myself a shower, and then we had dinner, which ended up being pulled pork. My wife had mentioned something about pulled pork. My mom bragged off about how good she was at making pulled pork, and she somehow screwed it up. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was the pork loin we used. I don't know if she oversalted. It was so damn salty. Oh man, if it wasn't for the fact that groceries cost as damn much as they do, I would definitely been thrown in the trash, and I would have just made a pizza. But there's probably 4 meals there. Like it's a ton of meat. And somehow, I don't know, she's got like runny. I don't know what happened. Like it's like she didn't drain this loin. She slow cooked the loin, which is fine, whatever, no big deal with that. But then when she I don't know what happened. It looks like chicken broth almost in there or something. It's so, I don't know what happened. I don't know if she cooked the loin in like a chicken broth, like a beef broth, when she cooked it and it made it extra salty. But it's like soaked to the bottom of your bun. Like I don't know how in the hell you couldn't pick it up and eat it like a sandwich. It's so wet. And I'm squeezing it out with the tongs and stuff. And she put in barbecue sauce, and of course it's super light on barbecue sauce because it's all liquid, it's all water and all runs off. And this was definitely not a good example of pulled pork. I was very disappointed in how it turned out. And I was looking at it going, I just paid how much for the fucking meat? I paid how much for it? Like, I'm like, yeah, okay. It was definitely not, it was not a good one. It was definitely not a good one at all. So kind of not pleasant with that. But watched an episode of Grace and Frankie and made fun of how much singing there is now, like the musical stuff and the theater type junk. Kind of laughed about that. My wife likes that part, so good for her. And it's always good. And then head back outside, hang out with the dogs, and play with my 3D printer again. I'm back to printing stuff with it. No idea I'm gonna do this shit. I really wish I wasn't so annoyed by human beings that I'd be willing to sell this stuff like a marketplace or whatever, or even set up a little booth somewhere like a hobby shop, like a craft fair type thing. But man, most of the time I hate people so much with their bullshit. You like $5 for this key ring, and they're like, would you take 75 cents? Like, I'll take a punch in the face. Like, what are you talking about? Get the hell out of here. Like, I just hate people. Like, you go to sell something and they're like, oh, this thing's a big pile of crap. This is a problem here. This is a problem there. I'm like, good, then you should own it. Go away. Oh no, I really want to make an offer. I'm like, no, it's obviously pure junk. Why would you want to buy something that's pure junk? Go away. I don't need your money. I really don't. Don't talk my shit down just because you can't afford it. I just don't get it. Or it doesn't have the value to you. That's fine. It doesn't mean it's not valuable. It's just not valuable to you. And I have such a hard time people thinking they have to downgrade your shit to make you think it ain't worth nothing so that they can afford to buy it at what they think the value of it is. No, just say, hey, beautiful item, not for me, have a great day. Or go with even I'll even accept the fact that, hey, great item, I think I'd like to have it, but to me, the value it would bring me would only be worth $1 or $1 million, whatever the number is. I don't care whatever the number is. And if it's less than I'm willing to sell it for, be like, hey, greatly appreciate it, but I see you don't see the same value to it that I think it has, or amount of time and effort and cost it put me to make this item. So I have zero problems with you not owning this item. If you come back later date and decide that you think this item would bring you more joy than your $1 would be in a loss of your life, come back and let me know. Other than that, go piss off. But don't tell me how it's a piece of shit item and it's not worth nothing, or it's simple to make, or it was easy to have, or blah, 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 whatever, because you can't afford the $5 for the item, or the $100 for the item, or whatever the hell it is. So it's one of those things that I think it was different when I was selling cars and stuff. It was easier. It wasn't my car. I was just, hey, this is an item I have. I didn't personally make it. I didn't paint it. I didn't build it. It became a thing. But when it's like my item, like if I've had, like my old truck I've had for 4 or 5 years, I go to sell my truck, I'm going to have a much harder time because I know that truck and it's that whole thing. But it becomes way worse when it's something I made. Whether it be table, chairs, or it be, you know, a item I turn on a lathe, or it be a bowl, or it be a sign I made on my, you know, on my sign wood shop, whatever it be, if something I actually put time and effort into making, that's when I have a hard time of you picking something apart, talking about how bad it is and how it's worthless and blah, blah, whatever, because that's something I took the time to make and the effort. And now if you want to point out, hey, if you'd sanded this direction, you would have had such and such, fine, I'll happily take that. But don't just tell me it looks like shit. That's a big one. So at that point, I would much rather throw it in the wood pile and burn it before letting you and having enjoyment out of that item later, regardless of how much money you give me, because you did not appreciate the effort that went into said item. So, and at that point, I guarantee the disappointment I feel selling something to somebody like you is such a piece of crap, an item, it outweighs any dollar amount you could give me, because dollars do not have that much value to me. So kind of is what it is. I've been playing with that concept and that idea for a while, and it's perfect annoying. So most of the time I do is I give shit away. I'm like, hey, I made this, it's yours for free. If you don't want it, pass it on to somebody else. If you think it's complete garbage, please do not tell me that and throw it away, and we'll go from there. So kind of the theory of how it is. I've had a few items that I've done it with, and I'm like, hey, if you feel you'd like to purchase this item from me, then you're welcome to pay me whatever it's worth to you, because I know what it's worth to me, and it's probably more than you think it's worth to you. So I will not tell you that number, or else I will continue to have it. I do want you to have it. So at any point you want to give me money for it, for what you think it's worth to you, feel free to. That could be $1, it could be $1 million. I don't care. Whatever you feel it's worth to you, feel free to give it to me, because my value is in giving it to you and moving forward that way. So anyway, that's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.